Sunrise.
2nd, 2025.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And as we see behind us here, some rain falling in Utica at least.
Yeah, it's the start of the day today that's not really too dry, and this is going to be a bit of a sign of what's to come this weekend, unfortunately.
Oh,
no
wow.
wall-to-wall sunshine. I wish I could bring it in, but here we are this morning with a live look at those current temperatures. And we're in the 50s so far, so it's not a cold start. It's actually a pretty nice start temperature-wise, but we are looking at some rain moving through parts of the region, primarily in downtown Utica. Let's take a live view out there right now. The rainfall rates are decent enough to where some of those low-lying areas could be ponding on roadways, but besides that, there's no thunderstorms to track here locally early this morning or anything severe-wise for now. Here's a look at the radar. You can see some of those darker hues of green, even some yellows passing into Little Falls right now. It's slowly ending in Utica. Another round heading into Camden and some parts of Lewis County in the next couple of minutes. But either way, today we're tracking high temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s, with a good shot for a scattered thunderstorm or two this afternoon and this evening. We're going to break down the potential of maybe a strong storm as well as how this weekend shapes up with rain in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. This morning,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Happy Friday, everyone. Early today, we are witnessing a few showers rolling through the region, but it's not going to be widespread all morning long. In fact, after this initial round, activity is going to slowly come to an end, and we'll see dry conditions move in by the mid-morning. In fact, a live look across the area. Tower cam a little faint because of the low-lying clouds, but you can see right there in downtown Utica, damp conditions to start your day. Maybe some very minor ponding on roadways, but realistically, there's nothing too concerning with road conditions out there this morning. Should we have no issues aside from maybe slowing down with the rainfall taking place in the eastern portion of the Mohawk Valley outside Little Falls. That's maybe where the heaviest rain is taking place right now. Matter of fact, radar indicating that as it continues to move east. St. Johnsville, beyond Little Falls, through closer to the capital region. That's where that heaviest rain is falling for now. So today, we're dealing with these lingering rain showers. They end, and then this afternoon, we run the risk of an isolated scattered thunderstorm with temperatures climbing as high as the low to mid 70s. Gary?
thanks. A heart healthy lunch was served.
The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Our first weekend of May is right around the corner, and of course, I wish I could give you better news about the weather, but maybe rain isn't the worst thing for those of you who like to spend time indoors during weekend days. But here we are, downtown Utica, a live view right now. A little damp out there. Most of that rain has ended, but roadways still a little bit on the wet side, and those temperatures, again, starting out rather mild in the 40s and 50s. And a warmer day is expected again today, similar to yesterday, but a little bit more on the unsettled side. Here we are with a live look at the radar. Those rain showers moving their way north and east. And if you zoom out a little bit, following this widespread rain we saw overnight, we're going to see a bit of a dry stretch here and there, maybe even some peaks of sunshine. It's not going to be a completely overcast day today, but as we zoom out, we're not out of the woods with rain chances either. We've got these trailing fronts moving through, which are going to potentially fire up a few maybe isolated to scattered thunderstorms across the board. And this could produce maybe some isolated downpours as well. So today's highs, again, upper 60s, as high as the low to mid 70s in the Mohawk Valley. So it's another warm one today. But when it comes to the storms rolling through, just a heads up this afternoon that there is a potential for a stray storm to maybe kick up a little bit more on the stronger side with some wind gusts and some heavier downpours. But just as a bit of a relief note here, this is not going to be anything like what we saw on Tuesday. There was a lot more in the atmosphere that was more concerning than today. This is one of those things where maybe an isolated storm strengthens versus widespread wind damage from a line of storms on Tuesday. Either way, on and off rain expected Saturday, high of 56. Widespread rain on Sunday. Sunday's trended a little on the rainier side, unfortunately. So looking at our skycast today, most of that widespread rain ends. We're dealing with stray showers in the early afternoon, maybe rumble of thunder, but also peaks of sunshine. So pretty much a mixed bag of weather today. Sun one moment, downpour the next. Maybe those who live in Florida understand those types of situations. But either way, we do dry out. And then by Saturday morning, widespread rain. It tapers off a little bit, still some isolated rain showers overnight, and then that widespread rain continues on as we head into Sunday, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and Sunday night. So your 7-day forecast, pretty unsettled weekend, unfortunately. Not a whole lot of opportunity for dry weather. Maybe the best shot would be Saturday afternoon. Then following that, we remain pretty spring-like. I feel like these April showers are lingering too far into May. I'm thinking we should see a lot more sunshine, but we'll see when we break this pattern. But for now, it's not too bad temperatures. No snow in the forecast if people are worried about that.
Well, the green lawns will only get greener.
Yes, this is going to be healthy for those too. So,
Eric, thanks. Several Vernon Center residents received, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libator, meteorologist Eric Gage, tracking our weather today over in the Weather Center. And Eric, it is starting out a little bit rainy right here in Utica.
Yeah, damp conditions here locally. Now the rain is slowly moving through the Mohawk Valley, and then eventually we're going to dry out a little bit, but maybe a storm chance this afternoon. A look at those temperatures early today. We're in the 50s here in the central New York area. It's actually 61 up in Watertown, so it's a balmy start up there. The warmest temperatures so far sitting at 64 degrees in Dansville, down south and west of the Finger Lakes. But either way, live look at Utica right now. Roadways damp, they're gradually drying up. Still, you might run into some minor ponding on roadways, especially along the arterial and those usual spots that like to collect water. But either way, it's going to be a relatively quiet morning. And as we head throughout the day, you can see the radar, rain showers primarily pushing their way east and north. We will see the potential for a thunderstorm or two this afternoon, maybe a mixed bag of weather, similar to those of you that have lived or have visited Florida in the summertime, where those sunny days turn to a sudden thunderstorm. That may be the case today, with highs in the 70s, well, not nearly as warm as Florida summertime, but still, we are tracking a rainy weekend for the most part. We're going to break down the timing of those rain showers coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Welcome to Florida, right?
Yes, Florida time now.
Eric, thank you, and don't forget the...
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
The Oneonta Camp is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Happy Friday, guys. On this Friday morning, we are entering our first weekend of May. And at least today, following some initial rain, things are going to gradually dry out. But in fact, it's still a warm start. We are in the 50s, some spots south pushing near 60 degrees. And we'll be reaching the low to mid 70s for highs this afternoon, as long as we get those peaks of sunshine again. Today's weather expected to be a mixed bag of sun, clouds, and even a thunderstorm or two. But when it comes to our photo of the day, one thing I can mention is I've seen a lot of greenery starting to pop up from trees, and even a lot of blossoms as well from these trees I've seen here across parts of the area, especially New Hartford. This is a blooming magnolia here in New Hartford. So shout out to the city this morning. And if you have any photos, I know there's plenty of these blooming trees out there. Feel free to submit your picture right there to the top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics. You can include your name, or you can remain anonymous if you want. Feel free to share. And of course, we'll showcase a photo right here every day on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Gary?
No partridge there either today, huh?
No partridge. Well, partridge in a magnolia tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
It's a different song.
Yeah.
Eric, thanks. Well, these days being in the auto...
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning on this Friday. We are tracking some rain showers exiting our area for now and a return to maybe some more isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. Live look at downtown Utica. The rain has ended, but still roadways a little damp as you head out on your morning commute early today. And the radar indicating those rain showers again slowly tapering off and pushing their way north and east. So as we zoom out a little bit, we can see behind these initial rain showers a lot more regarding dry weather. Matter of fact, we're not expecting overcast skies today. There's a good opportunity for peaks of sunshine, but also a thunderstorm, cloud passing over you. So probably one of those mixed bag of weather days we sometimes see in these changing seasons. Zooming out though, the reason why is of course we're not done with wet weather just yet. This is a broad area of low pressure, which means that pretty much the outskirts of this low has rain, but there's still some sporadic rain showers here in, I guess, the unofficial eye of the low pressure. But either way, today's highs, we climb into the low to mid 70s, so a pretty warm day by early May standards. And when it comes to storm potential today, this is nothing like what we saw on Tuesday. The signal for storms then were a little bit more concerning. Today, I think that maybe one, maybe two storms could produce some stronger wind gusts, and but then, of course, this is not a huge concern. Most of these storms, if they do fire up, will be typical garden variety thunderstorms we see usually in summertime. So the weekend, I wish I could mention more sunshine. I know this is probably what, our fifth wet Saturday in a row. Either way, on and off rain Saturday, widespread rain on Sunday, a little cooler on Saturday, a little warmer on Sunday, but we're not going to see very warm conditions or completely dry conditions throughout the weekend. But I may have some good news for Saturday. We'll show that in a second. So today, you can see here, in this image, you could see sunshine, a thunderstorm, or clouds. It's going to be by mixed bag today. These isolated scattered thunderstorms push through. You might look out and not see a storm at all, or you could be unlucky and see maybe one or two. So it's just luck of the draw how this storm fires these storms up. Either way, we dry out. Saturday starts out with widespread rain, drying out a little bit by the afternoon. This could be your break in the rainfall, because if you head into Sunday, a little more on the rainy side, with widespread rain moving in from the south and sustaining itself as a front becomes stationary right over our area. So, your 7-day forecast, temperatures in the 50s Saturday, 60s Sunday, and then slowly warming up a little bit as we head into the middle of next week. We'll be right back.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Friday. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And I wore my orange. Lost a little bit of my voice last night with that Knicks game. It was crazy, wasn't it?
Watching that yesterday, both probably not having a whole lot of sleep, but especially you. But now it's Knicks versus Celtics.
Watch out.
I can't wear green though.
Yeah, and watch out for some possible storms today, right?
Yes, it's possible thunderstorms this afternoon. We are tracking them later on today, but at least when it comes to this morning, no storms so far. It's a mild start. Temperatures are in the 50s right now. Some parts of New York State in the 60s already. It's going to be a mild start and a warm day today. And as you can see here in downtown Utica, a rain shower rolled through about an hour or so ago. That rain has exited to the east, but still things are a bit damp after steady rain overnight. So we're not tracking any more steady rain today. Matter of fact, the rain exiting, you can see here, into the north of the capital region right now, and as well as parts of Boonville, Old Forge. That's the only isolated spot that could see rain over the next hour or so. But as we turn the page this afternoon, we'll see a mix of sun, clouds, and the potential for a thunderstorm or two. And we're tracking that potential plus what we can expect heading into the first weekend of May in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, this morning, families of 20
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Friday morning. Happy Friday. Time now is 6:10, and as you head out to work this morning on the Munson CommuteCast, we're dealing with still some unsettled conditions as you head up north, say closer to Boonville and Old Forge. But here in the Mohawk Valley, things are drying out. Look at those cameras early this morning. Our traffic tracker, green across the board, maybe some very insignificant ponding on roadways and low-lying areas, but besides that, things will gradually dry out temporarily. That's the key word here, because by this afternoon, there could be the potential for a thunderstorm or two. So either way, the radar right now, those rain showers are pushing their way east and north outside of our area for now. And so today, after these lingering early morning rain showers and some minor ponding on roadways, the conditions dry out. We'll see some opportunity for sunshine today. It's not completely overcast. And then, of course, a chance of a storm this afternoon and this evening. Heading into the weekend, there's a better shot for rain. Unfortunately, we have the details and timing of that coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A heart-healthy lunch was served.
Swell your day. Watch for the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast and be ready for your drive to and from work. The Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast is brought to you by the Pratt Munson College of Art and Design. Visit Pratt Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity.
I just have one question for you. Did you just your ticket yet?
The Oneonta Camp is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning on this May 2nd. Time now is 6:17 on this Friday morning, and today we are tracking the end of widespread overnight rainfall. Downtown Utica, still some lingering damp conditions out there, so if you're heading out the door, you might want to just, of course, keep the windshield wipers moving a little bit on those roadways, again, with all that damp conditions still out there. But again, no more additional rainfall in the short-term forecast for Utica itself. Old Forge and locations along Route 28, that might be a different story there. Either way, as we head throughout the day today, we zoom out on the radar and satellite. We've got this dry slot here, but it's not entirely dry. We zoom out even more, and we can see this is a smaller puzzle piece of a larger low pressure system. And although most of this rain's on the outskirts of this low, we still have some straggly rain showers here. So unlike high pressure, this is going to at least have the potential of firing up an isolated thunderstorm or two later on in the day today. Still, though, it's a warm one this afternoon. High temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. And again, we are tracking the potential for a storm later today. Key note here, though, is that we are a level 1 out of 5 risk for a severe storm, which is almost little to none. And the latest data I'm looking at right now, I think that there's an off chance that a storm could turn severe. And the definition of that means that there could be wind gusts higher than 58 miles an hour, but the risk is low, and it's not going to be a widespread event. It's one of those unlucky scenarios if it does happen. Either way, the severe storm risk is very low, if any, today. Most of these rain showers, or if they do turn into thunderstorms, will be typical garden variety, heavy rain, downpours, lightning risk, that sort. This weekend, though, unfortunately, it's not going to be a warm one or a dry one. Well, at least for much of the weekend. Saturday, our rainy weekend, or rainy Saturdays continue. On and off rain, widespread showers on Sunday. And we can see here as we head into this evening, you could see sunshine or a thunderstorm or clouds. That's what the garden variety storms work, especially like for those that live in the summertime in Florida or have lived previously. You know those types of pop-up storms. Then on Saturday, we start out with widespread rain. It does end. We could see a window of dry weather in the evening hours. But then as we head into Sunday, it looks a little more rainy with rain showers moving in, front stalls over our area, and it continues to the evening and eventually the overnight hours. So if you have any weekend plans, anything that we need to do outdoors, your best bet would be Saturday afternoon. And then following that, it does look a little more unsettled for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I think Tuesday's your best shot for a washout, and then the temperatures remain pretty mild, upper 60s, low 70s. So overall, it's looking to be a pretty decent stretch of weather temperature-wise, but rainfall maybe not so much. But the lawns will remain green.
Yeah, the lawns will remain green. Just bring an umbrella.
Yep.
Eric, thanks. Well, several Vernon Center residents received morning once again, and thank you for joining us here on this Friday morning. I'm Gary Libator, meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center. And Eric, as we saw this morning, some rain coming down, especially in Utica.
Yeah, that rain has exited now out north and east, but we still have rain chances throughout the day today. In fact, let's take a look at those temperatures, because the one thing to mention this morning, it's a mild start. You won't really need a heavy jacket today. We're already in the 50s, climbing into the 60s, eventually the low 70s this afternoon. But the other side of that coin is that we won't be entirely dry. Well, at least technically. We will be seeing dry stretches of weather today, but on top of that, in fact, peaks of sunshine. It's overcast for the most part right now, but expect more clearing to take place over the next couple of hours, with sunshine mixed in with the chance of an afternoon thunderstorm. That's pretty much the forecast for the day today. So mixed bag of weather for the most part. Here's that rain that moved through Utica about an hour and a half ago. It's now exited outside of the capital region already, entering Vermont and Massachusetts. So at least for the most part here today, aside from the North Country, most of this rain ends temporarily. There's a chance for a few thunderstorms this afternoon. However, today, not completely a washout. That might not be the case for Saturday or Sunday. We'll have the more detailed look at that rainy weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Business leaders are sounding the alarm over President.
The Oneonta Camp is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Welcome back to Sunrise. We are tracking a warm one again today. In fact, a warm start to the day. Typically, we're seeing those temperatures in the 40s initially. We're in the 50s, approaching 60 degrees already, and the sun is already just barely going above the horizon. Of course, a lot of you might not be able to see the sun right now, but we might see a few glimpses of it later on in the day today. And after, of course, some overnight rain, much of the day will be dry with the exception of some sudden downpours, some an approaching cold front. Could produce a rumble of thunder or two as well. So garden variety to maybe a strong storm or two this afternoon. Either way, things will quiet down tonight and turn to a bit of a rainier side for the weekend. But when it comes to our photo of the day, we'll showcase some nice conditions. I know the weekend might not be the best weather-wise, but on the bright side here, shout out to New Hartford this morning. A photo of a blooming magnolia taken again in the New Hartford area. A lot of great submissions. Again, a lot of trees blooming. And if you have any photos either of a tree in your yard, a close-up like this, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. You can take credit or you can remain anonymous. As long as you want to showcase some spring beauty in your backyard or around the area, feel free to send those photos right here to be showcased on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Gary?
Central New York, the home of the great photographers.
I know, fantastic photographers across the area.
Eric, thanks. A shocking moment at the Pirate.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
After some overnight rain showers, that rain has ended, and even some peaks of sunshine starting to move into our area. A live look in downtown Utica early today. We are witnessing still some damp conditions from that rainfall, but following that, of course, things are going to shape up a little bit more dry by the late morning and early afternoon. Unfortunately, though, it's not going to be an entirely dry day, as we run the risk of an isolated to scattered thunderstorm or two later on today. Either way, the radar is still drying up a little bit, some patchy drizzle in surrounding areas of the foothills of the Adirondacks and even including the Adirondacks. And beyond that, we zoom out a little bit. We see this dry slot here, and you're probably thinking, oh, the rain is done for now. But we zoom out. Again, this is just a smaller puzzle piece on a larger scale system. It's always like to zoom out because a lot of times what we see here locally is really influenced by, in fact, you can see here, a multi-state system, multi-country system here. This low pressure is broad. It covers much of the southern portion of Canada, entering to the northeast of the U.S. But still, In the wake of it, in this so-called eye of the low pressure here, we've got a few fronts that will roll through and potentially fire up a thunderstorm or two this afternoon. Either way, it's a warm day, highs upper 60s to the mid 70s in parts of the area. And again, with said thunderstorms, the risk of severe weather, nothing like what we saw on Tuesday to give you peace of mind. There could be one or two that might strengthen to produce some gusty winds. You can see here level 1 out of 5 risk here in the dark green. But when we see risk zones like this, we don't really have too big of a concerns. We get to those yellows and even browns when things get a little bit dicey. Either way, today you could be encountering maybe a thunderstorm, passing storm. So one of those tools, great tools if you work outside. Download that Storm Tracker 2 app on the bottom of your screen there. You can scan it with your phone. It'll send you notifications of nearby severe thunderstorms, nearby downpours, even lightning. Great tool for outdoor workers. So today, on and off rain, potentially those thunderstorms, but peaks of sunshine. The weekend shaping up not too dry. On and off rain Saturday as our rainy Saturday stretch continues, and widespread rain expected on Sunday. But let's time it out here in our Skycast. So today, we've got a mix of sunshine, maybe a downpour, as you can see here. Range of different conditions throughout the area. Those rain chances end tonight. They return again tomorrow morning. Widespread rain Saturday morning. It tapers off. Your best shot for dry weather this weekend will be Saturday evening, because we head into Sunday. This front moves north and it stalls, producing steady rainfall for much of the morning, afternoon, and into the evening. So unfortunately, I wish I had better news for dry weather this weekend, but hopefully we get some windows of dry conditions for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Still, though, temperature's not too bad. As you mentioned previously, it's going to keep those lawns healthy and keep them lush and green.
Always something positive, right? Yes. Eric, thanks. Well, if you didn't, meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, pretty nice out there right now, but things might change, right?
Yes, in the blink of an eye. In fact, there are a few very small downpours in parts of our area. Meantime, it's sunny skies in Utica. Let's look at the radar and see where those downpours are at. First off, we zoom into the Mohawk Valley, north of Little Falls. Now, there was a bit of a heavier downpour. The strength of it has weakened. Again, these are pop-up thunderstorms and pop-up downpours, so they'll fire up for a few minutes and then weaken as soon as they do arrive. A few more rain showers pretty much north and west of Utica, might include parts of Camden and Ava, and even parts of Boonville heading into Lewis County, but much of the area here locally is dry. In fact, it's warm. Temperatures in the 70s right now in the Mohawk Valley, 71 officially in Rome. So again, blue skies out there right now with dry conditions in the city. And again, those few isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible, especially later on this evening as that front rolls through. Between 4 and 8 p.m. is our best shot for these storms. But again, as we come up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about the rain chances as we look ahead to this weekend and what's to come beyond that in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The families of the
WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and happy Friday, everyone. Our first weekend of May is approaching, and I wish I could be the bearer of better news on what the weekend weather brings, but we'll get to that in a second. For now, it's warm, it's sunny in Utica. Not so much in some other locations. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. The nature of these downpours. For example, let's zoom in to Frankfort this afternoon. It was sunny in Utica the entire time and a heavy downpour in Frankfort, and it was dry in Little Falls. So go figure when it comes to these rain showers. In the span of going down through the Mohawk Valley, you can encounter sun, sudden downpour, and then sunshine again. Either way, as we head into the next few hours, the potential for a sudden downpour increases, and they're at random. They have really no organization aside from a general area. You can see these fronts out here. It's a general area, but see, they're very random, sporadic. They're not organized in a steady line where you can predict them with pinpoint accuracy. But still, this afternoon, as a heads up, just make sure you're aware of a potential downpour that could hit you out of the blue. Either way, some of these could strengthen a little bit, but realistically, there's not a whole lot of I would say, worry when it comes to severe weather potential today. Very low chance of a storm picking up a little bit of strength, but even then it's going to weaken quickly as it taps into all that fuel in the atmosphere. So nothing like what we saw on Tuesday to give you guys peace of mind. Either way, there's the weekend forecast. On and off rain Saturday as our rainy stretch of Saturdays continue. Sunday, likely even more rain than not compared to Saturday. And if you have any plans for outdoor activities or anything whatnot for the weekend, I would say that Saturday afternoon may be your best bet. But let's head to Friday again for today. Those sudden downpours, you can see the nature of these right here. Sunshine, downpour, sunshine. So if you have any leagues or any golf tournaments tonight, maybe take a rain check on it just in case. Or if you're willing to power through it, go right ahead. The downpours aren't expected to last too long. Then overnight, it quiets down. Saturday starts out with widespread rain. The rainfall tapers off. We'll likely see a dry period here and there throughout Saturday. Not a complete washout from sunrise to sunset, but still heading into Sunday, that'll likely be a different story as widespread rain moves in. Temperatures climb into the upper 50s, and we could be seeing the steady rainfall into the evening and overnight as that front stalls over our area. And so your 7-day forecast. And yes, this weekend, unfortunately, not really shaping up too nice weather-wise, but it remains pretty mild temperature-wise. We warm into the 60s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. And so far, May, with April showers. May showers bring June flowers. We have May flowers and April showers. Yeah. So we have one of the same for everything this month so
yeah,
far.
A lot of rain in the forecast, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And that's for sure. Eric, thanks. The superintendent of what? Eric Gage joining us here. And locally, it's not too bad out there right now, but there is the chance of some thunderstorms later, right?
Yeah, on the radar, I mean, look at it. It's mainly dry. We have these very small pockets of downpours, and it's basically luck of the draw at this point. Let's zoom in at the radar right now. We can see, of course, a lot of the area, for example, Utica itself, looking dry. Lewis County, maybe not so much. Those of you up north have been dealing with a lot more sustained rain early this afternoon. But either way, we zoom into the Mohawk Valley. A downpour recently moved through Frankfort. Let's put a time lapse on this. You can see this right here. Downpour and then faded away. Now, north of Salisbury, those side roads north of the town, downpours moving through, as well as some locations north of Utica, north of Deerfield, heading closer to some of the areas in the North Country. Either way, out west, same story. A few isolated downpours. Temperatures in the 70s right now. It's a very comfortable afternoon, as long as you're not stuck underneath some of these rain showers. But still, dry conditions in the city right now in Utica. Today, temperatures peaking in the low to mid 70s with isolated scattered thunderstorms this evening. And again, although today's looking mainly dry and a few more downpours here and there, we are tracking some rain this weekend. Will it be a washout or not? Well, the latest forecast on that in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A woman was arrested.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Our first weekend of May is right around the corner, and unfortunately, though, the wet weekend weather still continues. We haven't quite gotten rid of that typical pattern so far. Downtown Utica right now, it's a little more cloudy than a few moments ago, but at least for now, it's still looking mainly dry. There are a few isolated downpours surrounding the city. In fact, you can see them moving through just north of the Mohawk Valley, north of Utica and Rome, especially in Lewis County. That's where only that widespread rain is. Everywhere else south, maybe a stray downpour or light sprinkle, if that. We zoom in, we can see some of those areas again. Parts of Frankfort, sudden downpour, and then it went away. Typical setup with these pop-up showers. We zoom out, we have this front moving its way east. These will fire up some of these popcorn thunderstorms, and with those, they're not going to be organized. They'll just pop up randomly, produce a quick rain shower, then end. So they aren't going to last all too long. Either way, it's put up a much larger system encompassing much of the Northeast as well as the Great Lakes area as it slingshots its way to the east. Our next weather maker is going to be to the south. It's currently out in St. Louis right now. It's going to move its way north and produce widespread rain tonight through early Saturday. Now again, today, maybe one of those storms is a little on the stronger side with some gusty winds. This is nothing like we saw on Tuesday. Those of you that witnessed the strong to devastating winds, there's not enough instability in the atmosphere, not enough ingredients present for that type of outcome, but still slight, or I should say marginal chance for severe weather today, if that's on the lower side. So to that weekend forecast, well, Saturday, on and off rain. Well, mainly rain to start. We might dry out by the afternoon. The better shot for widespread rain on Sunday with temperatures a little bit warmer. In fact, we'll see it right here in the Skycast. So today, peaks of sunshine. Again, it's not an overcast day, and mixed bag. Sunshine one moment, downpour the next. Then this ends, and we dry out heading into tonight. Then by tomorrow morning, we'll see that widespread rain move in temporarily. It ends. We could see a bit of a break in the mid to late afternoon. And then by the overnight hours, widespread rain returns. Now watch this. It almost looks like this rain is colliding with a wall right here. Notice how it starts moving north, and then it somewhat just kind of slingshots sideways. That's the case for Sunday. A stationary front moves in. Steady rainfall pretty much all day long. So following the weekend, Monday, temperatures in the 60s, rain showers tapering off, but we're still not out of this rainy pattern as rain returns again for Tuesday and some scattered showers for your Wednesday. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are back with news.
Spring over. Meteorologist James DeFazio in for Bill, and you're tracking some storms tonight.
Yeah, some of us seeing great weather, some of us seeing severe thunderstorms. We currently have a severe thunderstorm warning issued for southern Madison and northern Shenango counties. This cell is going to be moving in over the next 20 minutes or so. They have not extended this yet, as it has lost a little bit of intensity. However, this warning is issued because it does have the ability, radar indicated winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as nickel-sized hail up to nickel-sized hail possible. And I put the track on here, put the cone on there, just in case this does maintain intensity as it approaches the city of Hamilton. It will continue to track right along that Madison-Shenango County border. Downtown Utica, completely different story. Beautiful sunshine. The other story of the day, aside from the thunderstorms, warm temperatures. We warmed up all the way up to 76 degrees at Griffiths and Rome, 76, and currently back down to 75 right now in Rome with a 13-mile-per-hour breeze. Coming up, we're going to be taking a look at the weekend forecast and just how wet of a weekend we have. Jason, Kristen?
All right, thank you, James. Nearly 19.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Friday evening. Most of us seeing partly sunny conditions with very mild temperatures in the mid-70s, but not all of us. We're seeing some scattered thunder showers moving through the region. Let's get right into what we're tracking. Taking a look at downtown Utica, you can see those beautiful blue skies. Utica currently not being affected by these thunder showers. However, we do have storms working their way in this direction towards the Mohawk Valley. Mohawk Valley is not out of Dodge yet. Showers and thunderstorms are going to continue this evening, and I will continue tracking those throughout the night. Widespread rain develops early Saturday morning. We might get a short break Saturday afternoon. However, widespread rain returns by Sunday. We're looking at a very wet weekend, and it's not going to be all that warm either. Mid to upper 50s on Saturday for a high with on and off rain showers. Widespread rain Sunday as a front stalls over the area. Highs only in the low 60s. The Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. A couple stronger storms. Only one to make you aware of that was warned as severe. And this is tracking right along the Shenango-Madison County border line. I believe that they have allowed that severe thunderstorm warning to expire. The storm has weakened a little bit. We're going to continue to track that. I put a track on this even though they have canceled the warning. You can see a couple of the towns that are in the path of this cell. We would see just a couple gusty winds, as well as the chance for some very small hail. The radar and satellite picture showing those rounds of scattered showers moving through the region. We still do have more showers back to the west that we are going to have to keep an eye on as the night progresses. 75 degrees in Rome, nice and warm at 5:30 p.m., mostly sunny skies, 13-mile-an-hour breeze. The winds will slowly die down as we head into the overnight. Rainfall chances chances this evening, up and down. We're going to have scattered rain showers on and off this evening. As we head into the overnight, the rainfall chances really die down. By tomorrow morning, widespread rain develops. That quick break in the evening and the afternoon before widespread rain returns for the entirety of Sunday. We're tracking those scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight. They come to an end as we head into the first half of the overnight. Partly cloudy skies. Clouds increase as we head into the morning. By 7 a.m., rain begins to overspread the region. Widespread rain through the early afternoon hours. The middle of the afternoon, we get a little bit of a break. However, showers begin to work in from the south as we approach the evening. And then as we get into Sunday, by Sunday morning, widespread rain. We are looking at rainfall basically for the entirety of Sunday, literally from sunrise to sunset. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, it's a wet one. We're tracking showery weather even after this weekend. Showers continue into the day on Monday. We're tracking wet weather on Tuesday. We're tracking more wet weather on Wednesday. Showers continue, albeit with slightly warmer temperatures, mid to upper 60s. And then finally, we dry out on Thursday and Friday, which by the time that comes around, it will be much, much needed.
All right, James, thank you.
Of course. Well, it's not out of the norm. Meteorologist James DeFazio is tracking some storms coming through.
Yes, many of us seeing beautiful, partly sunny conditions, but not all of us. We have scattered thunderstorms across central New York. We're tracking a few in particular. These 3 cells that are spaced out basically right across central New York are the 3 strongest that are working through right now. This one just blew up in the last 10 minutes, just on the north side of Utica, heading into Ohio and Trenton now. This cell is just entering Hamilton County, and this cell was warned a couple minutes ago, about a half an hour ago, and that was allowed to expire. But this is still bringing some gustier winds and some heavier downpours to northern and central Shenango County as that moves through. And we're not done yet. As we look back to the west, we have more showers and storms that are going to push throughout this evening. However, downtown Utica, calm conditions right now. It's the calm before the storm at the very least. It got very warm today. We're up to 77 degrees in the Mohawk Valley. Really, really warm temperatures. 75 in Griffiths with a 13-mile-per-hour breeze. We're going to be tracking widespread wet weather this weekend. We'll be breaking that down coming up in detail. Jason, Kristen?
Thank you, James. A Utica native was on the Today Show this morning.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Friday evening. Most of us seeing beautiful weather with partly sunny skies, but we do have scattered thunderstorms across central New York, and they're going to be around through the evening hours. Let's get right into the forecast and talk about what we're tracking. Downtown Utica, not seeing the thunderstorms right now, just seeing partly cloudy skies, beautiful weather into the mid-70s, 75 degrees, really warm, comfortable temperatures. Unfortunately, showers and thunderstorms do continue this evening. We'll track those coming up in the radar here in just a moment. Widespread rain develops by Saturday morning, and it's going to be around for the majority of the day on Saturday. We get a short break possible in the mid-afternoon tomorrow. It's going to be very short, a couple of hours at best, and then widespread rain and showers return by Sunday. Sunday looks very wet. The weekend forecast, it's kind of bleak. It's a little dreary. 50s at best on Saturday with on and off showers. Sunday, a little bit warmer, low 60s, but again, widespread rain as a front stalls over central New York. It looks to rain for the entirety of the day. The Oracle Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, we're tracking a couple of storms working through central New York right now. None of them are at severe criteria. However, some of them are producing a couple of gusty winds as well as some downpours. One in southern Hamilton County, one entering central Herkimer County, and then we've had this storm working across the southern tier, which is moving across central Shenango County now and is probably going to make its way into central Otsego County over the next 10 to 15 minutes. But this is not the back edge. We have more showers and storms off in western New York. We're going to be tracking these as they continue to work in our direction. Then we'll get a little bit of a break before that widespread rain really settles in for the entirety of Saturday. Rome not seeing the storms right now, 75 and mostly sunny up at Griffiths with a 13-mile-per-hour breeze. This breeze is going to be around through the daylight hours and then will begin to die down overnight tonight. Those rainfall chances are on and off through the evening hours tonight, and then as we head into the overnight, rainfall chances decrease significantly. By tomorrow morning, almost 100% certainty. We get that little bit of a break in the afternoon hours, but then as Sunday returns, widespread rain does as well. Those scattered showers and thunderstorms are around for the first half of the evening and the beginning of the overnight. First half of the overnight is dry. Clouds begin to increase as the night progresses. By daybreak, we have showers working in. By 7:30 a.m., they've overspread all of central New York. Steady rain through the early afternoon hours. A bit of a break in the mid-afternoon, primarily across the northern portions of the viewing area, and then widespread rain for the entirety of Saturday. We don't really get much of a chance to get a break, and we might get a couple periods where the rain is lighter in nature, but it looks to rain for the entirety of the day. Taking a look at that 7-day forecast, after a very, very wet weekend, we continue with wet weather. We have showers in the forecast for Monday, Tuesday, and for Wednesday before things finally dry out on Thursday.
Let's get you over to James DeFazio to check in on the forecast for the weekend.
Good Friday evening, everyone. We're tracking a couple of scattered thunderstorms across central New York. Most of us seeing partly sunny skies and weather in the mid-70s. Nice conditions, but where we're not across northern Shenango County, this shower is moving into central Otsego County. We have a shower in central Herkimer County that's going to slowly be following the shower that's in Hamilton County. But back to the west, we have another round of showers that we're going to be tracking. These are going to be making their way into central New York over the next 2 to 3 hours. Downtown Utica, no showers just yet. However, the cloud cover is beginning to increase. Temperatures have still dipped down a little bit. We got all the way up to 76 degrees. We're still in the low 70s across central New York, so it's still very mild. Down to 71 in Rome with a 10-mile-per-hour breeze. That wind will slowly begin to die down. We're tracking a very, very wet weekend. Coming up, we're going to be breaking down those rainfall chances, which are basically the entirety of the weekend. Jason, Kristen?
All right, thank you, James. Nearly 19...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Friday evening. We're tracking scattered thunder showers this evening. Many of us are seeing partly sunny skies. However, we are tracking some scattered showers, and I think by the time the evening's all said and done, we'll all have seen some wet weather. Take a look at downtown Utica, though, where we're not seeing any wet weather just yet. We do have more showers to the west that are approaching, heading towards the Utica area. If they maintain their intensity, they will bring some showers to all of central New York, Utica, and the Mohawk Valley. But right now, partly sunny skies and temperatures in the low 70s, and you're going to want to enjoy it if you can, because after tonight, we're tracking widespread rain. It's going to be a very wet weekend. Widespread rain develops for your Saturday morning. We might get a short break in the window in the mid-afternoon hours of Saturday afternoon, but then showers return overnight and widespread rain returns for the entirety of the day on Sunday. In terms of temperatures, not too warm either. On Saturdays, we're in the mid to upper 50s. On Sunday, a tad bit warmer. We crack 60 degrees. We're into the low 60s. But again, an incredibly dreary weekend, a very wet weekend. A couple of thunder showers across the region to make you aware of now. None of these are severe, but some of them are a tad strong. A downpour here in central eastern Herkimer County. We've also had this cell rolling through the southern tier, bringing showers to Shenango County. It's going to be entering Otsego County. Just a couple of downpours and gusty winds with these non-severe storms. We are tracking these showers back to the west, and as these approach central New York, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on their intensity as well as where exactly they're going to end up. We'll be continuing to track these. As of now, we're not really anticipating any major severe threat, but an isolated strong storm or two is absolutely possible. 71 degrees and mostly cloudy in Rome. Those clouds are beginning to increase as those showers are moving in from the west. 10-mile-an-hour breeze. Winds are going to slowly die down. Those shower chances really increase as we head into the day on Saturday, and it's going to be a very showery weekend. Tonight, those thunderstorms come to an end by about midnight, and then we have primarily a partly cloudy overnight. By tomorrow morning, that widespread rain is knocking on our doorstep. It overspreads the region. We get a quick break in the mid-afternoon hours tomorrow, but then showers return overnight. Widespread rain develops as a frontal boundary stalls right across New York State. And look what happens as we go forward through on Sunday. Nothing but rain, widespread rain for the entirety of the day. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, it may be May, but we're dealing with April showery-like weather. Very wet weekend, and the wet weather continues into Monday. Showers expected during the day on Monday, less of a washout. A washout on Tuesday, very wet weather, upper 60s. We finally look to dry out as we head into the second half of next week. Thursday looks very nice, partly cloudy skies, high pressure building in. So we're going to need it by then.
Something to look forward to.
Yes.
Thank you, James. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6, the Colgate Men's.
With Ben Kinney.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Jason has the night off. I'm joined by meteorologist James DeFazio. We dodged a bullet today. Some areas to the south, you could see it kind of pushing through there. Some pretty heavy storms, especially that one.
We saw some stronger storms,
Yeah.
and we will break that down. But I want to talk about cloud cover right now because the KP index and the auroral activity, the solar activity, has spiked over the last couple of hours. We're keeping an eye to see if we can get any clearing. So if we can see the stars, I do believe we'd be able to see the northern lights right now. And then, as usual, clouds are ruining the party for us, but I don't expect that to continue. I think we will get a short window of opportunity to view those northern lights tonight. Downtown Utica had a shower move through about 30 to 40 minutes ago. Things are over to just partly cloudy now. Again, those clouds will slowly decrease. It's going to be a mild night. It's still 60 degrees with cloudy conditions up in Rome. Winds have died down. We were seeing 10 to 15 mile per hour breeze today. We're down to calm winds. This weekend we're tracking a very, very wet weekend, an extended period of rain for both Saturday and on Sunday. Coming up, we'll break down those rainfall chances. Coming down, we'll break down those rainfall chances for this weekend, as well as recap some of those storms from earlier today. Ben?
All right, James, thank you very much. 2 people, including a state trooper, were brought to the hospital.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist James DeFazio.
Good Friday evening. We had a shower work through downtown Utica about a half an hour ago. A brief downpour with a quick passing shower. Really didn't see any thunderstorms in the Mohawk Valley today. That's a different story across the southern tier. Right now, what am I tracking? Tracking cloud cover, because I'm really hoping that we can clear out, even if it's just for 20 to 30 minutes, because there's quite a bit of solar activity going on right now. If we could get some clearing, we would be able to see the northern lights at the very least, at least with a camera. Excuse me. Widespread rain develops Saturday morning. We're going to see widespread rain throughout Saturday morning and then showers through the afternoon. Short break is possible in the afternoon, Saturday afternoon. Otherwise, widespread rain for the entirety of the weekend. Sunday looks like a complete washout, a washout of all washouts. Temperatures mid to upper 50s on Saturday. Temperatures on Sunday a little bit warmer. We get into the low 60s for highs. Your Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. A couple of lingering showers off to the southeast of Utica, and these showers are going to continue to push off to the east, so they are sliding out of the viewing area. Back to the west, we're just dealing with partly cloudy skies right now, and unfortunately partly cloudy and not clear. If we were clear, we'd probably be able to see some of this solar activity. There is a chance that we clear out. There are some breaks in the cloud cover back to the west. I'm hopeful, but I'm not holding my breath either. It's 60 degrees still. It's a very mild night and cloudy up in Rome. Winds are now calm. They've died down after a very breezy afternoon. Rainfall chances really increase as we head into tomorrow morning. They slowly diminish as we head into the evening hours tomorrow. And then as we head back into Sunday, it looks to rain for the entirety of the day. Your skycast for tonight indicating those partly cloudy skies, a couple of breaks of within the cloud cover showing up there, so fingers crossed, but cloud cover increases as we approach tomorrow morning. Rainfall overspreads the region between 7 and 8 a.m. Steady rain through midday. Middle of the afternoon, we might see a little bit of a break, especially across central New York. Southern portions of the area look to see steady rain for the entirety of the day. By 8 p.m., showers return, showers on and off through the evening and into the overnight. As we head into the overnight, widespread rain develops. Widespread rain continues throughout the day on Sunday, into Sunday night, all the way into Monday morning. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, a very, very wet weekend, and unfortunately our showery weekend continues into next week. We're tracking showers on Monday, tracking a very wet day yet again on Tuesday. More showers expected Wednesday, and then we finally get a chance to dry out on Thursday as high pressure builds in.
So if April showers are supposed to bring May flowers, what the heck do
I think we're a week off.
Yeah, I guess so. What do the May showers bring?
May showers bring more May flowers.
Yeah, okay. That's exactly what we need for the pollen.
May flowers bring colors.
With Ben Kinney.
I love technology. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ben Kinney, in for Jason tonight.
Meteorologist James DeFazio in for Chief Bill Curtis.
And my teleprompter remote died. So, we're looking at these storms rolled through earlier just outside of Ithaca, leaving a decent amount of damage and actually some pretty large hail, too.
We did. We saw a nice little path of wind reports, and luckily they stopped just before they got to our area, really. The storms weakened right on our doorstep. Right now, we're keeping an eye on the radar and satellite. We're trying to get some clearing. We're hopeful tonight that we can just get a little bit of clear skies because the solar activity has spiked. If we didn't have these clouds, if it was not mostly cloudy at Griffiths right now, we'd probably be able to see the northern lights. But unfortunately, as usual, clouds are ruining the fun here in central New York. It tends to happen. Northern lights tonight, it's absolutely possible. There are some isolated areas of clearing. If you're in an area away from light pollution and can see through the clouds, can see some stars, you could absolutely possibly see them tonight. Widespread rain develops Saturday morning, and we're expecting a very wet Saturday. And then a short break is possible Saturday afternoon, but widespread rain returns by Sunday. Coming up, we'll break down those rainfall chances in detail, as well as recap some of those storms from earlier today. Ben?
All right, James, thank you very much. 2 people, including a state.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We got the chief the night off tonight. He's much deserved a day off. So Bill's at home getting some rest, and James is here for you tonight. We have partly cloudy skies in downtown Utica. We had one quick brief shower move through. Otherwise, it's been a very pleasant day across the Mohawk Valley. Not the same story to the south, where they did see quite a bit of storms rolling through Chenango and Otsego County throughout the afternoon and evening. Currently, northern lights we're tracking. There's the chance to see northern lights tonight. The solar activity has spiked drastically over the last couple of hours, and we're hoping that we can get some clearing of the skies so that we can just get a peek or two. You'd want to put your camera or phone into night mode and to look toward the north portion of the sky. Widespread rain develops by Saturday morning with short break possible in the afternoon, but all in all, widespread rain is going to return for Sunday. It's going to be an extremely wet weekend. Temperatures are going to be relatively chilly as well. We're only going to be in the mid-50s for the majority of the day on Saturday. We do crack the 60-degree mark on Sunday, but it's a washout of a day. A couple of showers over the capital region, elsewhere, just dry conditions across central New York. We had those showers move through earlier, but the reason I'm really showing the radar and satellite here is we're looking for clearing. We're looking for some clear skies. We just need a little bit of a break to get a peek, an opportunity, because clouds are going to thicken up the second half of the night, but we will have an opportunity. It's going to be very short over the next hour or two. There will be some thinning clouds. 59 and mostly cloudy in Rome with calm winds. Winds have died down after being rather breezy. Those shower chances diminish tonight, but they skyrocket as we head into tomorrow morning. As we head into tomorrow evening, they drop down yet again, but as we head into Sunday, all the way across, almost consistent high probability for rainfall on Sunday, and you'll see that coming up here on the Skycast. Tonight, clouds gradually thicken up ahead of tomorrow's rainfall. Rainfall arrives between 7 and 8 a.m., overspreads the region. We see widespread heavy rain through about the noon hour. By about 2 p.m., we're over to showers. The southern tier most likely to see a washout of a day. Central New York and in the northern portions of the viewing area going to see a couple hours of dry weather. Showers return in the evening. On and off showers return through the evening, through the night, through the day on Sunday for the entirety of your Sunday. I am clicking play here. I promise you, we're going forward in time. Sunday night, 11:30 p.m., we're still seeing steady rainfall. That rainfall is going to continue all the way into Monday morning. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, after a very, very wet weekend, showery weather continues into next week. Shower chances continue on Monday, on Tuesday, and on Wednesday before we finally dry out on Thursday.